Hello everyone, welcome back to Namma Laex Bangalore. This is Know Your Board series. So in this board, we'll be discussing about UPSC interview boards, and based on the previous transcripts and the board members' educational profile, we try to predict the trends, patterns, and the probability of questions that might be asked. So previously we have already done with the 6 boards, and today Suman Sharma ma'am board is going to be the last board in this particular series. So we'll discuss about Suman Sharma board and wrap up this Know Your Board series. And also after this we will be bringing certain series which is going to be very important for interview this year. There are certain issues which are going to be asked you no matter what your DAF says. Okay, so those kind of topics will be discussed in the video series, and based on the expectation from the board and how you should answer, that will be discussed again. Okay, so we'll discuss, for example, Northeast. If you take about Northeast topic, Northeastern India or insurgency in Northeastern India, how different boards have asked different kind of questions. We'll first see what kind of questions the board is asking. Okay, we'll first see what kind of questions the board is asking with respect to Northeast India, and then we'll try to make out answers, make out how you can actually answer this. Okay, so that is our next series in this particular interview guidance program. Okay, now let us start with Mr. Suman Sharma board. She is the member of UPSC. So with respect to personal and educational background, she was born on 30th July 1967, and in the academic qualifications, postgraduate in organic chemistry, she has a bronze medalist in Meerut University. So just from this you can say that if you are optional or if your degree is with respect to chemistry, then for sure there are going to be questions on chemistry. Okay, she did her MBA in University of Hull in United Kingdom, and in the advanced training she has worked on budget forecasting in the Duke University, USA, and management courses in MDI Gurugram, IIM Bangalore, and IBFD Amsterdam. So highly rich in the sense of academic background, so highly knowledgeable person. And with respect to civil service career, in civil service she was an IRS officer, Indian Revenue Services, income tax 1990 batch, experiences over 30 years in taxation, policy and administration, and the notable roles in income tax department or CBDT are special focus on international taxation, deep involvement in transfer pricing, policy formulation, compliance, and cross-border taxation cases. Okay, so all these things have been done by Srimati Suman Sharma ma'am. So key assignments outside of the income tax cadre is, one is with respect to Ministry of Commerce. She was an additional Director General of the Foreign Trade in New Delhi. So you can just see there is high inclination towards economics. She managed export production schemes for exporters in the northern India, played a key role in formulation of new foreign trade policy, very important. New foreign trade policy, very important. Okay, foreign trade policy. So there can easily be question on these kind of things if you are already serving in income tax office or if you have any experience with respect to export or imports. Next, renewable energy sector. She is a managing director, Solar Energy Corporation of India. So she led SCCI during a period of major growth and expansion. She secured Mini Ratna status for the organization, very important. She is not only an able administrator, she is also an able entrepreneur or able manager. Okay, member in multiple committees in power sector policy reforms. Okay, so if there is anything related to energy in your DAF, be sure that the questions are going to be asked on renewable energy and energy capacity of India. Next, academic and institutional roles. She is a member, Board of Governors, Indian Institute of Management in Tiruchirappalli, contributed to academic and administrative decision making process in the Tiruchirappalli IIM. Now, so based on the board and also her UPSC role, she joined as a full-time member in UPSC on May 25th, 2023. She brings expertise in taxation, international finance, trade and renewable energy. She is known for structured thinking, policy orientation, and deep analytical questions. Again, we'll discuss Ms. Suman Sharma board question pattern analysis. So, overall character of the board is very calm tone, polite, analytical, and structured, and the focus is DAF-heavy, very important. DAF-heavy, subject matter depth is needed, real-world applicability, logical reasoning, finance, taxation, trade, energy, and social sector emphasis. All these things are very important. Okay. Next, key features are she asks very sharp conceptual questions with cross-domain linking, especially when the candidate has a technical, commerce, economics, public policy, or humanities background. Okay. Next, dominant question sources based on the transcript, that is more than 400 transcripts were uploaded to the artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence ran through this and made a list out of it. So dominant question sources is DAF based questions are the most dominant. So the probability was around 80 to 90% here. So DAF derives 80 to 85% of the interviews. The examples from the transcript is district or hometown questions. The questions are very basic. Name 3 persons from your state. In the sense, 3 persons in the sense not your family or anyone. 3 important personalities. Okay, and then governance challenges in your state. Very basic kind of questions, but you have to be ready to answer this. And then home state, counterfactuals and issues. Why do people from your state migrate? Or why do people from other states migrate to your state? Okay, depending on the state, questions can be asked. What is your view on the reservation in your state? Okay, political in nature, but they will expect a balanced answer from your side. Pattern is always test your ability to link your district to policy, development, and personal understanding. Okay, next, the graduation subject also has a very high probabilities. As I told you, her board asks deep academic and applied questions. How much of your academics or your degree have you understood? Not just read or passed the exam. How much of it have you really understood? How much of the concepts are you able to actually recall it? How many of the concepts are you able to apply in real world? So that will be the questions around. For example, if your degrees or graduation is around commerce, economics, and finance, the questions are: what is insider trading? Difference between fiscal deficit and debt. What is the impact of gold on Indian economy? Okay, very repetitive questions. Again, this kind of questions can also be asked this year because of the emphasis that is given on gold by the government of India and also rest of the world. Next, science and technical background. So chemistry students get structure, application, industry questions. Since she has a chemistry background, the questions are always asked on chemistry. For engineering students, they get questions on energy, environment, systems, and technology questions. And the pattern is starts with fundamentals and then moves to policy applications and ends with ethics or societal angle. Okay, this is very important. And then there are very high probability that the questions will be asked on your optional subject. For example, from the transcript, tell me about political thinkers you like. Since he has an optional or she has an optional of PSIR, the question was, tell me about political thinkers that you like. Okay, and then whatever the political thinkers you state to them, there should be a reasoning behind it. Okay, next, tell me what is social stratification. Okay, that is for the students of sociology. There will be follow-up questions as well. Do you see the social stratification in current India? Or what is the social stratification and how is it different from India and the Western countries? These are some of the repeated questions for sociology students as well as anthropology students. Next, pattern is optional must be airtight. They ask basic, analytical as well as comparison questions. Okay, next, work experience, very important. These are very repetitive questions in Suman Sharma board, where applicable. In the sense, if your DAF has a mention of work experience, whether you worked in IT, corporate or government, etc., etc., What did you learn from the private sector work? This is one of the basic questions. What did you learn from the private sector work? Okay, did you just work for the salary, or did you also understood what the work was actually? And the follow-up questions will be on, if experience is in IT, finance, consulting, defense or energy, she goes very deep. So most of the times what they do is, how will you be able to use your experience in private sector in UPSC or services jobs or government jobs? How are you going to use this experience in administration? These are some of the very repetitive questions. Next, with respect to hobbies and interests, the probability is very less, from medium to high probability, but there are some examples. Like you said you like trekking, tell me about Himalayan ecology. Okay, so it is indirect from the transcripts. She is not asking directly about trekking or where you have trekked in the previous past. They will ask about, tell me about Himalayan ecology. Okay, next, sports hobbies. They will ask about rules, controversies and governance. In the transcripts, one of the controversy or the question was asked about PR issues. This PR issues was in news recently with respect to Rohit Sharma. I mean, it was in news in 2024 and 25. So the questions were on PR. Next, pattern. So hobby, they'll go into concept and then they'll bring out the larger governance theme. They'll try to connect the issues in your hobbies and try to ask you to bring certain solutions to address those issues. Okay, so finally the hobby is conceptual and then it is connected to governance issues. So top themes asked by the Suman Sharma board on the transcript is economy, finance and markets, very high. So some of the examples are, what is insider trading, difference between fiscal deficit and debt, which I explained previously. What is the impact of gold on the Indian economy? Why? Obviously we know that she is an IRS and handled international relations, international taxation, CBDT and trade policy and SCI. And the questions on governance and public policy is also very high. Questions are governance challenges in your state, governance challenges in your district. As a DM, how are you going to address those? Tell me why people migrate from your countries, etc., etc. So governance questions always start from the DAF and then expand outward. And the trade, commerce and international relations is also very high. She probes export, gold imports, economic fallout and capital flows. And in the transcript, the questions were related to taxation related IR themes appear very often, very important, especially in the context of carbon border adjustment mechanism and also recent tariff hike by the USA. This theme is going to be very high and very difficult and very important as well. Since she has worked in FDG, DGFT, taxation and SCI, she loves trade economics and energy intersections. Next, energy, environment and renewable sector is also very high. As I told you previously, she has worked in renewable energy sector, and through transcripts are truncated internal patterns show that she asks about solar missions, renewable energy capacity, India's energy transition, climate governance, and the question is why, in the sense that she has led the SCI, Solar Energy Corporation of India. So that is why most of the questions are with respect to renewable energies. Next, with respect to social sector issues, very medium to high. Reservation in your state, what is your view on the reservation in your state? For example, they might ask about the recent in Haryana and Karnataka, there was a attempt to give reservation to locals in private jobs as well. Okay, what is your opinion with respect to reservation in private jobs for locals? Migration issues, and she probes upon women issues more, child welfare, state social structures, caste dynamics, and social justice reforms. Okay, and the taxation, medium, the kind of questions on taxation are very high, but medium compared to the previous ones. That is, she has CBDT and IRS background, so taxation questions appear most of the times. Black money, GST, evasion, tax evasion, international taxation, these are some of the questions that have been asked in the previous transcripts. Next, so question style, there is a clear board behavior. So the questions are crisp, structured and analytical questions. So they are not long-winded and the questions are very pointed. Next, high emphasis on the accuracy and clarity. That is, she expects clear definitions, logical structure, short but complete answers. Okay, and then she pushes deeper with the follow-ups if the answer is very generic. Okay, for example, migrations happens due to unemployment. She will ask why unemployment in this particular district. Give 3 structural answers or reasons. So this has been asked for the previous student. And as a balanced tone, firm but very helpful, not aggressive but not overly guiding. Not overly guiding compared to BB Swainer, Dinesh Dasa sir. Next, extremely consistent DAF first approach. 90% of the questions are directly from the DAF plus academic background. So probabilities, as I told you, 90, the DAF is almost 100%. Again, DAF graduate subject is 100%, finance, economy 90. All this documentary provided with you, you can just go back and look into this probability map chart. Complete list of the questions. Type ask is like DAF, district. Again, we already discussed these things. So graduate subject, optional subject, work experience. So what does this mean for you? It is DAF based questions on your district, state, job, achievements, etc. becomes very important. Graduation subject is very important. Governance applications of your background is very important. That is, if you are worked in so and so company, or if your background is so and so, then how are you going to use that knowledge in administration? Okay, applications in governance. Economic and financial reasoning questions are also very high. Questions on agriculture, policy, technology, if it is an interest area of you, if you are mentioned in your DAF. Then policy related questions from India, Europe relations, committees and institutional reform questions, behavioral science, because of your PhD or OB, etc., etc., and then UPSC interview experience reflection. Okay. So finally, that is about Suman Sharma board. With this video, we'll be ending the Know Your Board series. Again, if you want to be part of this interview guidance program that is being conducted by LaExcellence IAS, then call to this number, or you can pause the video and scan this particular document or scan here, and you can get added into the particular WhatsApp group where we are conducting everyday discussions between UPSC interview appearing aspirants, where we'll be like dividing the groups into 2 groups, and where we'll be asking them opinions on each topic. So someone has to give opinion in favor, someone has to give opinion in opposite of it. Okay, so that brings out different opinions, and as Plato says, when the opinions clash, truth comes out. So that is our motto here. So also it will help you to bring your confidence, or build your confidence, or build your communication skills, and build the team spirit, etc. So which is going to be very helpful whenever you are facing panel of 5 members in front of you. Okay, so that is the idea. So you can register here, and this will be led by Rambabu sir, who is the director of LaExcellence IAS, Ram Mohan sir, academic director, and myself, I will be academic head in Bangalore LaExcellence. Okay, and if you want to be part of offline discussion sessions, it will be conducted every day in the morning, 9:30 to 12 o'clock in Bangalore IAS Academy. Okay, LaExcellence IAS Academy. So with this, I will be ending the session. If you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and share with your friends. Like, share with all the friends who are looking for guidance, who are appearing interview this year. This is going to be very helpful. Okay, so I put a lot of thought and effort behind these videos and behind this document etc. So make best use of it. Once you are added into the group, you will be provided these documents for you. You can use those documents. Okay, so with this, I will be ending the video. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.